And welcome to the Nasboys Sports Podcast. Now, did you know that the Texas Rangers have gone 99 innings without holding a lead? So, anyways,
Sheep.
guys, welcome to the Nasboys Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Bob Fan 101, with my good friends and co-host Christian, aka Seawill,
What's up, guys?
and Cam, aka I Spy Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
So let's get to talking about some sports here. We're going to start off with some NFL news. We're going to kick it off with Aaron Rodgers rejecting a 2-year contract offer that would have made him the highest paid player in the NFL. Now, one more thing that I would like to mention with this is Devontae Adams is also unhappy with the Packers and rejected long-term deal talks. And both of them posted a picture of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on their stories to signify the last dance. So what do you guys have to say about this?
Honestly, man, Aaron Rodgers, we've all expected that he was going to leave. He's been unhappy with the team for a couple seasons. He hasn't had a lot of great pieces. They just haven't been able to make it back to the Super Bowl. And, they haven't had great offense. They've been having some defensive issues as well. And Devontae Adams seemed to be like the only receiver that Rodgers could trust out there. And, they're great teammates and everything. I did think it was kind of like disrespectful to put like the MJ and Scottie Pippen on their story, because to me, they're nothing like that at all. I mean, yes, they're great players, but they're not like an MJ and Scottie Pippen type of, duo. I just didn't understand that. But, Rodgers, he's getting older. He doesn't have much time, I don't think, left in the league. He's in his third. I think he's like 38 or 39, almost 40. And I remember when he first started playing in NFL, I was like 6 years old. So he definitely, is going to be trying to chase another ring. And the only way to do that is to leave the Packers, because they haven't helped him at all. I could get why he wants to leave, and I could get why the Packers fans are upset about him leaving, because he's been their quarterback for so long. I just felt like the move is going to hurt the Packers for sure. They'll definitely have a lot of losing seasons, maybe like 2 or 3 losing seasons because he's leaving, but it didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, looking at the situation, I mean, I'm not really surprised. I know Rodgers have really been struggling with the team, and he really does want a new team that can not only improve his stats, but improve, his teammates as well, and really get them somewhere like really far into, the playoffs, maybe even the Super Bowl, because, he's getting up there in age, and I'm sure he would want another ring. Why wouldn't he? I think anybody does. I'd I kind of have to agree with Savage though on the whole it's a little disrespectful in my mind with the whole Last Dance thing, because I mean that's really got to be like an iconic duo. You know what I mean? And and that's kind of have to be like a friendship, and you have to be teammates for a long time to have that. I feel like that high of a bond, right? Like I could maybe see that happening with like Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. I could see them doing that maybe, right? Because they've been together for so long. They were always like a big time duo in the NFL. I could definitely see that. As a Vikings fan, though, I'm pretty happy. Which I know that sounds wrong. I mean, I feel bad for Packers fans, kind of. But at the same time, it's great over here. I feel like I'm living life my best potential because, I don't have to really deal with Packers and them just tormenting us every year. For the DeAndre Hopkins situation, not DeAndre Hopkins, there it is. Devontae Adams, my bad, situation. I mean, I'm not really surprised because I know that he got lowballed, right, with the long-term thing. He was not really happy with that. He was actually pretty upset about that. And
Yeah.
I know they really were trying to go after Rodgers, but then again, without Rodgers, who else are you gonna have for a wide receiver if you didn't have, anybody else? So really, I think the Packers were destined for something to happen sooner than later, and I think their downfall is coming, and I'm very happy about it. What do you feel about it, Mike?
Well, I don't really have too much of an opinion on it because I'm not really a Packers fan. I mean, no disrespect to them, I'm just neutral. But I'm not surprised with Rodgers wanting to leave. I mean, we've seen him go all the way to the NFC Championship, and then they just choke it away to like the Saints or the Bucks, for example. But yeah, I mean, it's expected, honestly. I think he'll probably retire because we haven't seen really too many offers for Rodgers, and As for Devontae Adams, I mean, I was a little shocked that they couldn't get a deal with him. So something's got to be up in Green Bay where these guys don't really want to re-sign with them. But I think that Devontae will find a home, and Rodgers, I don't know. I think he's got a few more seasons left, and then he's going to retire. Maybe just this one, but he might go into 2022. Who knows what's going to happen? So let's get into the next topic here. We got the running back for the Rams, Cam Akers. Excuse me, I cannot talk. Has suffered a torn Achilles and will miss the entire 2021 season. That sucks for him.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, man. It's gotta suck. We've seen stuff like this, and careers can go downhill because of that. And I also kind of wonder, well, what's the Rams gonna do as a replacement? Who are they gonna have out there? That's gonna really, be a struggle for them because, I don't really think there's a lot of running backs that are up to his level that are on the market right now. So, that's kind of an iffy situation for them.
Yeah, they're screwed in the running back area. They got like decent backs, like second line backs. Akers was like, I think their best back. So we'll have to see how that unit works.
Yeah, for sure. And Cam Akers, he's been a really good running back. Coming out of college at Florida State, he was one of the most electrifying running backs in his class. And with the Rams, they if I'm correct, they don't have Todd Gurley anymore. Am I not wrong? Or
yeah, no, they don't. They do not have them anymore. They do not have him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just wasn't sure because honestly, I haven't watched the NFL much last year at all. So honestly, did not know. But anyways, I'm looking here. I'm trying to figure out who their backup running back was when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Because he was pretty decent. I think his last name was Anderson. He was pretty decent. I don't think they have him anymore either. So I think that it could be a problem long term for the Rams. And the fact that if I'm correct, they had traded for Phillip Rivers. I just don't see the Rams doing good this year, to be honest.
I'd have to think maybe for a replacement, if they could find him on the market and try to maybe sign a deal with the Bengals, they could get Denard Robinson. He's a backup, and he's more of a power back, but, he's really not been bad this year. I know in training camp, they're actually maybe talking about maybe him getting in front of Joe Mixon, but right now they haven't. They said Joe Mixon's still going to be their main guy. Maybe the Rams could try to pick Denard Robinson up, but, until then, we'll just see how it goes and see who they can find.
So the running back that I was talking about, his name's C.J. Anderson.
Oh,
and right now, I think he last played for the Detroit Lions, from what I see.
Yeah, I don't know why the Bengals would start the other guy who you were just talking about over Mixon, but okay. But
yeah, that is interesting.
But yeah, last thing for NFL. They have informed teams that a game can't be rescheduled during the 18-week season due to a COVID outbreak among unvaccinated players. The team with the outbreak will be forced to forfeit and take a loss. And a lot of players are not really happy about this. We're not going to get into opinions, but some players include Cole Beasley and DeAndre Hopkins. So very interesting there. So Cam, why don't you talk to us a little bit about baseball?
Yeah, we have some decently big news. Once again, I just noticed this now that MLB is always packed with news. So we have Adam Frazier from the Pirates traded to San Diego. This is a big deal. He's young. He's still mainly young. For MLB level, he's 29. He was really good, second baseman. The trade deadline is coming up for baseball, and they gave away Adam Frazier, and I'm not really shocked by this. I really do think that, the Pirates, if they want to have a really good rebuild, they really got to start trading away these guys. And, they need to become sellers, not really necessarily buyers. And they just need to hold off. I really think that they should go with a all-speed team. Because really, that's like a wuss tactic, some might say. But, I think that really they should stick to basics, not all these powerful guys that just, hit nukes because, a lot of the times the guys that they're picking are striking out a lot. I think they have like one of the like worst strikeout percentages in like the league right now, and it's just awful. I mean, you can just see by their performance, they suck. They've already had like a lot of bad defensive calls as well. So, seeing this, it's a little sad. I mean, I'm not complaining because I'm a Reds fan and they're in my division, but I will say I like seeing competition, and there really is none there no more. So.
Yeah, I will say real quick, sorry, Cam, I will say the Pirates this year, pretty expected that they would have another bad season. They're last in the NL Central, fourth worst team in baseball right now with a 38-61 record. And you brought up a great point. They should be trading away some of these guys if they're trying to rebuild. And they've been trying to rebuild, though, for years. It's going to take them a while to get back into playoff contention. They're in a stacked NL Central division with the Brewers, Reds, Cardinals, and Cubs all fighting for that top spot of the NL Central. And the Pirates are allowing 489 total runs so far compared to scoring 367, which is pretty bad. And I felt like the trade was a good move, to be honest with you. Now, San Diego definitely benefits from this trade because they're still a really decent team. They're still in the mix for the NL West. The Giants are in the Dodgers, really close at the top of the board there. The Padres could catch them. We saw what the Padres did last season. They surprised a lot of people by making the playoff for the wild card, if I'm correct.
Wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really have no opinion on this trade. So I don't really know what to say.
Yeah, okay, I got you. I would just like to also say, in the infield, they're going to be very strong, San Diego is, because not only do you have Fernando Tatis Jr., you have Adam Frazier and Machado. Yep. I mean, what a dream infield. Like, my gosh, talk about being overpowered, man. It's going to be scary.
Reminds me of the early 90s Padres where they had, if I'm correct, they had Tony Gwynn and then some guy named Roberts. He was really good at base stealing. But
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. A fan throws a baseball at the Boston's outfielder, Alex Verdugo. The fan was caught and is okay. So we also have a fan who threw a baseball at the Boston's outfielder, Alex Verdugo. The fan was caught and is now banned from all 30 MLB parks.
Field and some of the fans to the point where the game is being delayed.
Yeah, they threw a ball at him, I think.
And Jarren Duran in his first big league game comes over and tries to help Verdugo calm down. You can see the ball in next to him. And the umpires doing their best to point out who threw it so they can show him the exits. Verdugo understandably upset about it. Somebody who interacts with the fans and loves to have those interactions. Ton of personality, but not happy with this. And in fact, last time we were here, Alex Verdugo was mic'd up for us. We got to hear some of those interactions.
I just have to say that's tough for that guy. That's got to suck. I mean, suck for Alex Verdugo, not the fan, of course. I mean, that dude deserves it, really. I mean, that's dangerous, really. I mean, I don't really like that. I think that's dirty. Really, I feel as if he should have got arrested because really that can hurt somebody, like, bad.
Yeah, I get your point there. I will say, it's worse when MLB fans throw like the balls back on the field and it could hit a player than it would for like the NBA or the NFL. I honestly don't really have much of an opinion on it. I did see what happened. It was a pretty deserved, penalty for the guy who did that.
Yeah, I didn't really see the video. I just heard about it, and I'm shocked that he got banned from all 30 parks, but okay. Just shows Red Sox fans. That's all I gotta say, Red Sox fans.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was crazy. Verdugo flipped out, man. He was so upset by it.
He was whining.
History was made. The first all-women's broadcast crew, I can't speak today, was for the Orioles versus Rays game. Savage, if you'd like to give the names, here you go. Here they are.
So the women that were part of the broadcast on Tuesday night were Lauren Gardner, Sarah Lang, Delaney Newman, and Heidi Watney.
I really don't have much to say on it. I mean, congrats. It's a big moment. I always like when I could be something that's a part of history. That's always cool to me. Like, just to be alive, to see history, I always think that's cool because, it's going to go down in record books. And I can say that I was there for it. So that's kind of cool.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool that happened. Congratulations for them. I'm really interested to see that. But I will say there was this video going around on Instagram of these two Spanish players. They were in the dugout, and they were talking about the broadcast. And I mean, no disrespect to these women broadcasters. I just have to bring this up. It sounded so, scripted that they just got it at the perfect time. So was it really scripted? No one will know. But congratulations to those female broadcasters.
So, another big thing is the Cleveland Indians, it used to be the Cleveland Indians, have changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians after a famous bridge in Cleveland, which I guess it's called Traffic Bridge. It's the guardian of transportation and traffic, I guess, So, after finding out that there's a bridge and, we're going to actually rate the logos and all this, but one of the logos looks super cheesy. But I figured out it's actually kind of following after the bridge, which is kind of cool. I mean, it makes it a little better than what it was. Here are the logos. I'll give my opinion on them first. I see, here's my thing, right? And this goes with everything here. I kind of feel as if you're going to change, the name. I feel like maybe you should change the colors as well. It's like they're trying to not have it like the Indians' name and keep the theme, but it's like they're trying to hang on to it as hard as possible. And I feel like you should just change the whole colors. I mean, if you look at the past, they had the same, font for the numbers and, it just looks a little more cartoonish, but I still think it's the same way. And, for that, I just feel like just let it go. Just do a whole new scheme, a whole new everything. I think that would be better.
There have been talks, of the Indians changing their name for the past couple of years. And I was kind of surprised that they changed it to the Guardians, and I didn't realize the meaning behind it at first. But as you mentioned with the bridge, I can understand why. I think it's a good name. Like if you were to choose another name, like the Flamethrowers or something like the Tornadoes or something like that, it would not make sense. And for Cleveland, I think this makes sense. I like the jerseys, though, too, to be honest with you. I will say I will disagree with you, Cam, in regard to the colors. I think that they should just keep the colors because the fans have these colors from jerseys that they've probably worn for over 10 years and from different players that have come and gone from the organization. I just don't think it would make any sense to change the team colors when you have all the fans showing up to the games wearing red, blue, and white. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so my opinion on this, the Guardian name, I first thought it was really generic. I didn't know the story with the bridge. But one thing I do want to mention is that when they announced the name, they had Tom Hanks doing the introduction.
Forging into the future from our ironed-out past. We are a city of fire and water, of trees and towers, built through generations of blue collars and the brightest scholars, and all of those who have worked harder. We hold tight to our roots and set our sights on tomorrow. And this is our team that has stood with our city for more than a century, from Old Municipal to the corner of Carnegie. A team that has seen its own progress and prosperity. Its history flows like the river through the heart of this city. A history that has given us miraculous moments. Moments that spanned years and others 22 games. Moments that broke barriers and moments that broke hearts. Moments that prove this is more than a game. We remember those moments as we move forward with change. You see, it has always been Cleveland that's the best part of our name.
Hi. That's just so random to me, but okay. Um, I'm looking at the logos here. The first logo, why did they just rip off the Braves? Why? It's literally the Braves logo without the the
Yeah,
bell
it
or
is.
the axe or
Well,
whatever.
it's actually the one of the Cleveland's famous logos from the old times. Just would like to say that.
Yeah, I think that one on the left is from like the 40s or something like that. The one on the
No,
right looks like
I
a
think
cartoon logo.
The
honestly, I think the whole one on the left is much more like a cartoonish version of everything. You know, just to make it. I think it looks cheesy in my mind, but yeah. Anyways, you go, Mike.
the C looks fine. Like I have no problem with that. This ball logo with like the angels or the plane, I don't know what that is. That's a very generic logo, something that you'd find in a rip-off MLB game. Their jerseys look pretty much the same, just with the Guardians logo and the new G with the angel wings. So it's not terrible. It's not great, but
Yeah.
it's not terrible.
It's good.
For the baseball logo with the wings, on the actual bridge, it's like this man, and it looks like a guardian, I guess you could say. I mean, and it has like a crown with like wings on his head. It's weird looking. I'll have Mike actually put up a picture of it right here, and so you can kind of see the resemblance between it and the ball. The only thing that I see different with the actual outfits is the red jersey. I don't think I've seen that yet. And like the number on the side, which really, I don't really mind it. I just think like it was a little cheesy, but like finding out with the bridge and all that when I saw that, made me much happier about the whole name change. Because at first I was like, man, I feel like a fourth grader could have came up with a better name, but now I'm actually okay with it. We have an update on the Washington National shooting. Police think they have found both cars involved with the shooting. Both of the cars are still missing. They haven't actually found anybody yet. And really, I'm just happy because those people deserve, obviously, to get locked up for forever. I think because even though no one died, they still attempted, and I think that's wrong enough as it is. I hope they get caught.
One of the cars was actually a gray Toyota, and it was missing a hubcap, which makes it pretty easier for them to find. And then the other car was kind of like another gray Toyota as well, but that one didn't really have any like things sticking out other than that blue lights.
Yeah.
Crickets.
I hope they find them. That's all I gotta say. I hope they find them.
All right. So that's all for the MLB news. Let's move on to the NBA Finals. So, as I predicted, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Phoenix Suns in 6 games, 4-2, taking home their first NBA championship since 1971. And in fact, I will show y'all my Giannis t-shirt jersey that I got 2 years ago. I wear it occasionally, and I thought I might as well show it for this episode. Giannis, unanimous Finals MVP, absolutely amazing performance that he had. Everyone, I felt like both teams played the best they could. They had the stats were insane. Devin Booker averaging 28 points a game, Chris Paul averaging 21 points a game, going along with the 8 assists. His assist numbers were a little bit low, but Chris Paul still played pretty well. He hit a lot of tough shots against Giannis and a couple of the taller Bucks defenders. DeAndre Ayton's points, it went down. His numbers kind of went down in the finals, but we saw Jay Crowder hit a lot of great shots. Same thing as Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson. Frank Kaminsky, is it me or is he playing better than he did on the Hornets? Kind of makes me salty since I'm a Hornets fan. Now for the Bucks, Chris Middleton, at first, I remember there was a lot of memes. Game 1, Game 2. Bucks are terrible. Chris Middleton's trash. Drew Holiday's trash. They turned it around. They picked it up, averaging over 16 points per game and 5 rebounds and 6 assists per game. Brook Lopez played well. Bobby Portis, that guy was playing like he was the Draymond Green of the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? He was out there getting everyone hype. He was making a lot of hustle plays. We saw PJ Tucker having to guard a couple of the great Suns scorers like Chris Paul and Devin Booker, he did pretty decent, even though he got crossed pretty bad in Game 6 by Paul. But Tucker, 4 points in that, he averaged only 4 points. It's kind of bad, but nevertheless, I'm very happy for the Bucks. As I said going into it, it doesn't matter to me who won, because it's two teams that we haven't seen in such a long time make the finals. I thought it was a huge success, and Giannis capping off his great performance in the NBA Finals in Game 6 with that 50-point game, just legendary. And I have to say, man, I'm surprised I was the only one that picked the Bucks to win. A lot of people that I know were like Suns in 4, Suns in 5, and I'm just like Bucks in 6. And in fact, they did come back and win. What about y'all? What do y'all think about the finals?
I picked Bucks. I picked
you
Bucks.
did? Oh,
yeah, I picked
okay.
the Bucks. I picked the Bucks. I think I even think I went with you. I think I said Bucks in 6. It was either that or 7. I'm not completely sure, so don't judge me on that.
Yeah, I thought I saw like on the month story that it said all Suns except for like my pick, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, well, if you guys don't know, I am a Giannis fan. And when I was making that pick, I was definitely biased. I know, really we're not supposed to be biased, but I was definitely biased making that pick. I was really rooting for Giannis, of course, because I was tired of people saying that Giannis couldn't lead the team all the way to the finals and win. I was tired of hearing that. I think that he has shown that, he is not only just good, but very good. And that really, he's been underrated, and people need to start showing him the respect he deserves. The last 2 games are great, man. I mean, really, this series as a whole was just like back to back, and I loved it. It was a great comeback by the Bucks. Everybody had a really good game. I mean, Giannis, of course, just dominated. Very proud moment as a fan. That was actually like in my time, that was like my first ever like winning team kind of thing, of actually winning a championship in like my whole lifetime. I've never seen like one of my teams technically my team. I mean, it's Giannis that I follow, but technically one of my teams, actually win something really big. So that's always nice to see.
A lot of people didn't expect it either. I mean, a lot of people were talking about Giannis going to the Warriors in the offseason, and the trades that went on where they were swapping Eric Bledsoe for Holiday and all those trades that happened. Personally, at the beginning of the season, I didn't think the Bucks would even make it to the second round of the playoffs, so they definitely took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, I didn't expect the Bucks to win. I picked the Suns. They came with a great comeback. Milwaukee's fans are just, in my opinion, they're the best fan base in the NBA. I mean, they showed up for the entire playoffs. Props to them. Props to the whole Bucks team. Especially props to Giannis. He was there when that entire team was terrible. Like, they could not even get to the playoffs. And he stuck with them. He stayed loyal. He didn't, cry and want to leave and make a super team like Durant. He just stayed loyal to them. And look what happened. They finally won a championship. And they were a pretty average team, but their role players managed to step up. So I'm glad Milwaukee won. And with the debate of which ring would you rather have, Durant's rings or Giannis's ring, I would 100% want Giannis's ring because loyalty over everything. And one more thing. With the Suns doing so well, and they were up by 2 games with impressive performances by Booker and CP3, I would just like to call out a YouTuber that I watch. I mean, no disrespect, Browatis. Dude, you jinxed the Suns. I'm sorry, dude. I like your content. I think you're a cool dude. But my guy, you jinxed the Suns. You were all like, Suns in 5, Suns in 5. And then the Bucks just started stepping up. Suns in 6. Giannis with that Black Air Force energy. Suns in 7. And then the Bucks just killed the Suns. You jinxed the Suns when you bought that plane ticket, man. Please. I think Suns fans are probably pissed at you, my dude, but hey, I respect you for at least being a Suns fan with how terrible they've been for the last few years. So hopefully that Suns can make it to the playoffs next year. I think that they will.
Unpopular opinion, I think I could beat Baradas one-on-one in basketball.
Ooh.
Hey,
You
hey,
know,
Brawadis, come hit up my man's for a 1v1.
I would just like to say this though too, because I know he's watching this podcast. Matt, I was right. I told you the Bucks would go all the way. You were hating on my whole team. That's why you guys suck. That's why you guys lost in I think the first round. All right.
Oh, come on.
I'm coming at your neck too.
They
I'm coming
lost
at
to
your
the
neck
Bucks.
too.
No, wait, the
man,
Hawks.
no.
They lost to the Hawks.
Yeah, I know, but they still lost first round. That's what matters. All
It
right.
was not even the first round. It was
Second
second round.
Second
Get your
round,
facts
Cam.
right.
They beat my
It was the
Wizards.
second round. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You guys lost. All right. Listen, hold this L. Hold this L, Savage and Matt.
Ben Simmons. It was all his fault. Trade Simmons.
Okay, go to the next thing.
So the other topic in the NBA, I guess, other than the Summer Olympics, the Team USA doing pretty bad, would be Chris Paul saying he's not going to retire and he's going to be back as strong as ever next season, which I believe is the case. And I feel like people questioning the fact that he doesn't want to play in the NBA anymore. I think that's pretty stupid because I felt like I still feel like he has like 5 years left. Even though he is getting close to 40 years old, he's still performing at a high level. He has had some injury problems, but the fact that people thought that he was retiring or assuming that it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Looking at this, I'm not really surprised. I thought maybe he would retire after the season, but at the same time, him losing the way he did, I feel like he's greedy, and now he's going to come back. And I think he's going to get let down again. And I think he's not going to go anywhere. I hate to say it, but I really think that, losing, the finals, I think it's really just going to hurt them as a team and as a whole. And I just think that they're not going to come back from this just because they want to. I think they'll make playoffs, but I don't think they're going to make as big of an impact and actually make it to the finals. That's my honest opinion.
I mean, Paul is still a great player. I mean, we saw it. Yeah, he is getting old, but he is definitely a great player. I hope that he makes it to the finals. I felt really bad for him losing, but it is what it is. Both teams really deserved it. But yeah, hopefully we see Chris Paul again in the finals.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then we have the Gold Cup. Now I'm gonna probably murder this name because I've always have. Qatar beats El Salvador 3-2 to pass to the semifinals, and Mexico beats Honduras 3-0 and passes to the semifinals. And I'm actually also going to give you guys an update because 2 games are happening right now. And that is, hold on, I got to look at it again. Give me a second, guys.
I think it's pronounced Qatar, but you did the best you can because now a lot of people get that right. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. Currently my internet is just horrible, so mind me. Okay, so here's the scores. All right, my bad, guys. USA and Jamaica are still tied 0-0 right now. There's nothing happening, and Canada beat Costa Rica 2-0. I'm kind of shocked by that.
Wow, that's actually surprising. That's an upset right there. Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely an upset. I can't believe Canada won. Wow.
Now, Mike, do you have anything to add about that before I move on?
Yes, the United States women's soccer team lost to Sweden.
Yep, they did.
That was very shocking. And also, what is going on with the United States basketball team? They've only won 1 game this whole Olympic season. 1 or 2 games. I'm not entirely sure. But what? You guys are the best basketball players in the world, and you're over here losing to France with Evan Fournier carrying? What are you doing?
I mean,
to be fair, that's what nothing is right. I don't think they're used to team play. Like, I feel like a lot of these guys are used to being like the stars. They all want the ball. That's my opinion.
So were LeBron and Kobe, but look at them. They got a gold medal.
Yeah, but look at it too. There's when they had those players, that whole roster back in the day, they had guys that were like laid back, like big men at the same time. But they also had big men who could rebound. The team that we have right now, the rebounding is pretty bad. And we turn the ball over way too much. I will say that a lot of fans are kind of overreacting a little bit, but I get it. I get why fans are upset. because we're so used to winning in basketball in the Olympics. I get it. It's going to take time. Like, I honestly don't think that they'll win the gold. France has a really good team in Evan Fournier and Rudy Gobert, and they probably have a couple other good players on that team too. I just can't think of right now. It's one loss, but they also lost to some teams they shouldn't have in the exhibition, which also included Nigeria, which we talked about a couple episodes ago.
They've just been playing so sloppy. That's what's bothering me the most. I mean, like, I understand, like, okay, they're all trying to be the star. That's ridiculous, but okay, I'm not surprised about it because they're the stars in their respective teams. Put that aside. Play for your country. Play for your own pride. And they were just playing so sloppy. Like, I was watching the exhibition game against Nigeria, and I was embarrassed.
Looking at it, I just kind of think that, this is what happens when, you put in JaVale McGee instead of someone like Zion. I feel like Zion would be a big body and he could really get in the paint and get, the ball. Yet, nope. What do they go with? Good old JaVale McGee, the man that has braids that are like hanging on for life. All right. I don't think his hair's going to fall off.
That's crazy. But anyways, moving on. Before we move on to the next topic, I will say right now who's leading in the Olympics right now. China has the most medals with 11. USA second with 10. Russia is third with 7. Right after Russia, we got Japan with 6, Korea with 5, Italy with 5, and France with 3. China has the most gold medals with 6. USA is third. Japan actually has 5 gold medals. I apologize. I don't have every one of the sports listed, but I know a couple of the sports that are in the Olympics going on right now. There was soccer. I saw there was fencing. They had basketball going on. They had, I'm trying to think what the other one was. I don't know if it was badminton or something like that. But there's a couple of the ones that are not well known that's going on right now. There was skating and there was rowing. I saw those. Scrolling through my Instagram feed. But other than that, it's still getting there. Not a lot of people are watching it right now, but I feel like as the week goes along, more people are going to start watching the Olympics since there's nothing much really on other than baseball.
Also tennis.
Oh yeah, tennis. Yeah, my bad. Tennis. Sorry, tennis fans.
AKA 1% of the population.
All right, tennis, dang.
So we decided to make a new game. Also, if you haven't already, go check out our NASCAR podcast. We kind of played a similar game to this. It's just different. Savage, you can explain the rules?
Yeah, so we did a NASCAR price chart a while back ago. And basically, we had some drivers, and there's certain limit of money you could spend. Now, I will say I made a mistake when I was making this chart. I forgot to put Luka on there. I know, shocking, right? I don't know why I forgot to put Luka on there. He should have been in there above some of the other players that I put on here. But basically, the $25 section, we got LeBron James, pretty obvious, Giannis, KD, and Stephen Curry. At the $20 section, we got James Harden, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic. At $15, we got Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, and Damian Lillard. At 10, there's Julius Randle, Trae Young, Russell Westbrook, and Bam Adebayo. And at the $5, we got Chris Paul, Paul George, Zion Williamson, and Anthony Davis. Now, you can only spend, the limit is $60, and you have to have a starting 5. So, would y'all like to share y'all's first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, my starting 5 coming in at point guard, I have Trae Young. So then for shooting guard, I have Bradley Beal. For small forward, I have Zion Williamson. Then I have for power forward, I have Giannis, and for center, I have Anthony Davis.
All right, mine at point guard, I got Stephen Curry. At shooting guard, I got my boy Bradley Beal. Please don't leave the Wizards. At small forward, I got Paul George. At power forward, I got Julius Randle. And at center, Anthony Davis. That was basically a gimme putting him at $5.
Yeah, really.
Now with mine, I wanted to do something a little different, but at the same time, I also wanted to make it to where the team would have defense and also wouldn't have any injury concerns, and they could shoot. So I had Russell Westbrook, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Zion Williamson. I feel like that'd just be an electrifying lineup. Very fast paced, could shoot the ball, could jump high, could get rebounds and defend. I feel like that would be a good group. Other than that, I was thinking about getting KD, Tatum, Williamson, Paul, and Westbrook. But yeah, those were our price chart teams.
Yeah, I guess if I had to give an explanation for mine, really, I decided my tactic would be having a lot of big man, just, guys that can get in the pocket, and get out of it, and really get in the paint and just basically destroy it. I feel like really with my team, it'd probably be unstoppable. And it's just my honest opinion.
I didn't get AD because he's injury prone. I'll just say that. Sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
With my team, first off, with my backcourt, Curry and Beal, I mean, they were the two scoring leaders the whole season. Curry is obviously the best shooter in the league. Don't at me on that. And Bradley Beal, I mean, he's just a really good player. He's one of my favorite players in the league since I'm a Wizards fan. And just in general, he's one of my favorite players in the league. Paul George, he really stepped it up a lot in the playoffs. He really helped the Clippers out a lot, especially when Kawhi was injured. So if he can keep that same mentality, that would really help my team. Randall, I just wanted a better option. I probably would, if it wasn't a limit, I probably would have gone with Giannis, but Randall is definitely a solid option for my team.
Yeah.
He'll bring some defense as well as some scoring. And center, Anthony Davis, yes, you do make a point that he is injury prone, but he is still a very, very great player in this league. And I just needed him at center with the give me of $5.
I was surprised that no one got James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, just guys like that. I was kind of surprised. But I feel like all of our teams should be really good.
Yeah, but I hate to be this way, guys, but I think mine would easily destroy both of you guys' teams. Just saying. If it came down to it, I feel like my team would just win. Sorry, but
Comment down below who has the best team.
All right, let's get into the top 10.
Starting off at number 10, we got Kevin Kiermaier jumping, catching the ball, and crashing into the wall, still holding onto the ball. Look at this amazing catch. Brought a clip.
Here on Friday. And lost this one into center field. Kiermaier trying to measure his leap and makes the catch as he makes contact with the wall and hangs on to retire the side.
Coming at number 9, we have Jonathan Dos Santos, who has a beautiful goal for Cater at the Gold Cup. Here's the clip.
Pineda, crossed away, Herrera. Oh, goodness, Mario's up and again. Quick shot to Santos, 2-0, Mexico. There's recognition of passing and then brilliant.
And at number 8 is Giannis poster over, I guess, Frank Kaminsky. Here's the clip.
4. Let's continue to take over on the offensive end. Catch, finish in traffic over everybody.
Next up at number 7, we got Javier Baez's no-look tag, which looked really sick. Roll the clip.
Runner goes, throw down to second, tag. Wow.
Basically, Javi said, hey, just get in the general area and I'll make a play for you.
So cool. Move. I just got to say that. Number 6, we have Giannis, who spins and attacks the rim. Easily one of the best plays of the night, in my opinion. Very swift looking. Here's the clip.
Pick your spot and take the hit. He spins, uses the angle.
In at number 5 is Brooke Lopez dunking on DeAndre Ayton. Here's the clip.
Drive finds Lopez coming and slamming. Brooke Lopez with authority.
At number 4, we got Astros players showed some love on the list. And that's Jose Altuve catching an insane line drive. Roll the clip.
Yeah.
It's also a special.
Show the talent that he did right there.
How about it, Tuve?
Get up. Are you kidding me with this guy?
For tops. Hurt me to have him on the list, though. Number 3, you have Adrian Yanez. I think that's his name. With a brutal roundhouse kick KO. Here's the clip.
That's a good right, and another. He's hurt. And then the head kick. Holy smokes! Adrian Yanez does it again. Puts Victor Rodriguez down.
Trying, or if he just completely missed, going to back lip. Huge opportunity now for Jagger Eaton, the other American here in the final. Can he stick this trick?
He does.
And in at number 1 is Devin Booker breaking PJ Tucker's ankles. Here's the clip.
Been a foul, but just tremendous defense.
Booker creates some space. And hit the 3. Rebound Bridges.
And so with that, that will conclude this week's episode of the Nasboys Sports Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Subscribe to our main channel. Follow our Instagrams. And we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.